pollution is one of the biggest environmental issues today. In Malaysia, we rely heavily on plastic, and much of this waste ends up polluting the oceans and harming marine life. To solve this, the Malaysian government introduced the Roadmap Towards Zero Single-Use Plastic 2018 to 2030. So the goal is to reduce and eventually eliminate single-use plastic by 2030 to create a cleaner and healthier environment. This roadmap was developed by MES, DECC, the Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change. The ministry works to promote sustainable choices and raise public awareness about the plastic pollutions. So some of the main action includes introducing a pollution charge for plastic bag. Besides that, it is to promote biodegradable alternative. The third one is to establishing the legal guidelines for plastic use, and lastly is to increase public awareness through education.
So here are the 4 policy problems of this policy. The first policy problem is the severity of plastic pollution in Malaysia. As we all know, Malaysia is facing a major plastic pollution problem, especially from single-use plastic. It ranks among the top countries for mismanaged waste, with much of it ending up in the ocean. Microplastics are damaging marine life, and weak recycling system, landfill overload, and illegal dumping make the situation worse. The second policy problem is the poor recycling of plastic materials. Despite government efforts to improve recycling and raise awareness, the recycling rates of Malaysia remains low. Most waste still end up in a landfill due to pollution, limited facilities, and hard to recycle single-use plastic. The issue is worsened by import plastic waste. While initiatives like Alam Flora and awareness campaign exist, inefficiency and weak recycling markets persist, showing the need for the better waste sorting, stronger producer responsibility, and greater community involvement. The third policy problem is lack of environmentally friendly and economical substitutes. Malaysia has introduced laws to reduce single-use plastics, but the progress is still slow. States like Penang are promoting reusable and eco-friendly bags, yet many people and small businesses struggle to switch because these alternatives are costly and less available. To solve this, the government is working with Sirim Berhad to set standards and implement the extended producer responsibility system, making accountable for producers for eco-friendly packaging. A real change will only happen when these alternatives become more affordable and accessible. And the last policy problem is lack of standard policy making. This means Malaysia still lacks a unified system for managing single-use plastic. Different states have different policies, leading to uneven enforcement and progress. The national roadmaps aims to coordinate efforts among government, industries, and civil society, but full implementation hasn't happened yet. Without a strong governance framework, roles overlap, accountability is weak, and progress is low.
Okay, next is policy objectives. We have 7 objectives in this policy. The first one is providing policy direction. It means that we guide all stakeholders, including government and private sectors, toward a unified and coordinated approach to addressing single-use plastics. It also ensures consistent waste management practices and promotes national cooperations. The second one is striking a balance between economic progresses and the environment. It helps to promote sustainable economic growth without compromising environmental protection. We also encourages integration of environmental aspects into economic planning and decision making. The third one is offering local industry opportunities, which stimulates local industries to adopt green technologies and produce eco-friendly alternatives. It also enhances Malaysia's competitiveness in the global market that values sustainable products. 4. Zero single-use plastics by the year 2030. This objective focuses on eliminating single-use plastics nationwide by the year 2030. The government aims this through regulations, awareness campaigns, and sustainable waste management practice to reduce dependence on disposable plastics. The fifth is foster and sustainable development. This policy also supports sustainable development in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. It encourages balanced progress across environmental, social, and economic aspects to ensure long-term sustainability. The sixth one is promoting shifting to eco-friendly products. It also supports innovations in advanced technologies that reduce environmental impact. And lastly, directing towards integrative therapy. These objectives involves all relevant stakeholders in addressing plastic pollutions. We also considers the entire life cycle of plastics from production to disposal for comprehensive solutions. Next is Strategy Phase 1 2018 until 2021. During this phase, the Malaysian government launched the roadmap towards zero single-use plastics to reduce plastic use nationwide. In 2018, the Ministry of Housing and Local Government (KPKT) led awareness and education programs (OCHEPA), supported local authorities (PBT) in implementing pollution charges and established a secretariat to monitor progress, while SIRIM introduced eco-labeling criteria for biodegradable plastics, and R&D funding was provided for green innovations. In 2019, the No Straws by Default initiative was introduced, compostable garbage bags were promoted, and a 20-cent plastic bag charge was imposed nationwide. Eco shops encouraged the public to bring reusable bags, while incentives were extended to producers of biodegradable materials, and new legal frameworks were developed to address marine debris and single-use plastics, which we can take as an examples. By 2020, the Circular Economic Roadmap (CER) for plastics was planned for launch in Phase 2, and in 2021, technical workshops were held to build stakeholder capacity for implementing the CER.
So now looks at the first two from 2022 to 2025. So in 2022, Malaysia pushed harder with stronger rules and more green products. Plastic bags are slowly being replaced nationwide with bio-based bags, and they even have a special SKU label. There's also the No Straw by Default policy, especially for mobile hawker to reduce unnecessary straw. The government also encouraged using eco-friendly alternatives like biodegradable cutlery for packaging, and even things like carton pad and plant polybags. These items break down more easily and help reduce waste. Another big step is introducing corporate environmental responsibility or CER. This means plastic producers must take responsibility for the waste from their product. And by 2025, plastic bag will have a levy for all traders, not just big supermarkets. The money collected will be reinvested to fight plastic pollution and support the circular economy. There will also be new law to make enforcement clearly and stronger. Plus, Malaysia will continue working on marine debris project to protect the ocean. So 2022 is really about pushing responsibility and greener choices. For 2023, it's review time. A midterm report will be released to see what working and what need improvement. School will also start adding more hand-on learning about sustainability, so students can learn by doing, not just reading. And the government will keep checking on CEPA program to make sure they are actually helping people change their habit. This keeps the roadmap on track. So let's look at the first three from 2026 to 2030. From 2026 onward, Malaysia want to boost the production of biodegradable and compostable products. This includes items that are harder to recycle, like diapers, feminine products, and some medical tools. The government is going to invest more in research, testing, and making sure these products are truly safe and eco-friendly. CEPA will also continue to support circular economy effort, basically making sure resources and reuse as much as possible, not wasted. So, and finally, in 2030, Malaysia will release a big report. This will show the achievement and struggle and what we have learned along the journey from 2018 until 2030. The goal is full transparency, so everyone, the public, businesses, and the government know where we stand. So this report will also guide future law and a plan for Malaysia can continue improving waste management and more toward a fully sustainable future.
My name is Angela, and I will present about the strength of Malaysia roadmap to a zero single-use plastic 2018 to 2030. One of the key strengths is that this roadmap provides a clear national vision and step-by-step plan. It divided into three phases, which is 2018 to 2021, 2022 to 2025, and 2026 until 2030, with the final goal of achieving zero single-use plastic by 2030. This gradual approach gives businesses, the governments, and the public enough time to adapt to new policies, technologies, and behaviors. According to the Ministry of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change, the phases strategy allows continuous monitoring and adjustment based on scientific data and public feedback. This makes the policy more flexible and sustainable in the long run. Another major strength is the involvement of multiple stakeholders in the policymaking process. Before implementing the roadmap, consultation will help with many groups such as NGOs, academic institutions, businesses, and government agencies. This inclusive approach increases the public awareness and encourage cooperation among all parties to reduce plastic use. According to the study by UKM in 2024, such collaborations help promote share responsibility and make more people more active in waste reductions efforts. It's also improved transparency and accountability, which are signs of good environmental governance. The roadmap is also strong because it supports the idea of a circular economy and aligns with global sustainability goals. It promotes recycling, innovations, and responsible consumptions, which are in line with the United Nations SDG 12. The World Bank 2021 and Frontiers in Environmental Science 2023 both highlight that this policy places Malaysia among the countries working towards sustainable waste management. By moving away from the take, make, dispose model, Malaysia can strengthen its position internationally and improve its environmental reputations. And the final strength is the roadmap encourage innovations in the industrial sector. It pushed more than 1,300 plastic manufacturers to adopt green technologies, create biodegradable alternative, and join programs like extend producer responsibility. This not only drive green's investment and new market, but also support research in eco-friendly technologies. Such effort increase Malaysia's competitiveness in the global green economy and promote long-term economic sustainability.
So one of the biggest weaknesses is the lack of awareness among Malaysians. Many people still litter and continue using plastic without thinking about the environmental impact. A national survey showed that less than 44% of Malaysians knows about the government's plan to reduce single-use plastic. This shows that educational and awareness programs like CEPA are very important to encourage behavioral change and personal responsibility. Next, our low recycling rate. Most recycling activities focus on valuable items like clear plastic bottle, but others types like food packaging and polystyrene are not popularly recycled. Because of limitation in technology and low quality of recyclable, a lot of plastic still end up in landfill or the environment. This makes the plastic pollution problem even worse. So the third issue is biodegradability and cost of current alternative to plastic. Biodegradable products are still more expensive than regular plastic, so many companies hesitate to switch. Some businesses also doubt whether these alternatives are durable or suitable for their machine. This concern slow down the adoption of greener choice in Malaysia. Another major challenge is the lack of strong enforcement. Rules are not applied consistently in different state and local authorities. There are also not enough trained personnel or resources to conduct inspection and take action. Without strong cooperation from all parties, policy becomes less effective in reducing plastic waste. So lastly is Malaysia is still facing weaknesses in waste management. So infrastructure in underdeveloped. Some areas still depend on landfill and illegal dumping happen. Waste collection and segregation are also inconsistent. Policy difference between state causing gap in management and enforcement. This slow down our process toward a sustainable waste system.
So next is policy recommendations. So what the government can do is they can strengthen CPA, which stands for Communications, Educations, and Public Awareness. So the address roots problem is that the citizen, especially the youngster, they are lack awareness of environmental effect of single-use plastic. So here, the government plays a very important role by utilizing the social media, TV ads, and the community events for continuous nationwide campaign. For examples, the No Plastic Bags campaign. In this campaign, they only charge fee for plastic bags, cutlery, and the takeout containers. So this campaign helped to minimize the disruptions for both consumer and businesses. Next, the government can promote circular economy by encourage the reuse, recycle, and alternative materials. They also can support the sustainable economic practices through closed loop system, which in this system they only limit the plastic waste. Lastly, the government can initiate to strengthen the environmental educations in school by making sustainable topic compulsory in the school curriculum. So next, they can encourage the hand-on learning through Pecinta Alam Sekitar Club and recycling project. So the second policy recommendation is to improve the recycling infrastructure. So the address root problem here is due to the low recycling rate. So what the government can do is they can building more recycling center in both urban and rural areas. Since many industries they rely heavily on plastic because it's cheap and convenient, the government can address this issue by improving recycling facilities. One way to do this by providing more convenient recycling bins in public areas, workplace, and residential spaces so that people can recycle more easily. Besides that, the government can also promote circular economic models by introducing refill and reuse system, especially among the student as a starting point. For example, including refilling cleaning products, personal care items, or food packaging instead of buying new plastic containers. Through these efforts, Malaysia can move closer to zero single-use plastic and strengthen its progress towards a greener, more sustainable nations.
So let's take a look at the third point, which is strengthen enforcement mechanism. This means setting up dedicated enforcement units within local government to regularly inspect and monitor compliance, especially among businesses and food outlets. This unit must have enough resources, trained staff, and standardized procedure to ensure consistent enforcement across all regions. A stricter regulation should also be implied, for example, imposing fines, suspending businesses' license, or publicly naming non-compliant businesses to discourage violation. For example, a restaurant that still provides plastic straw could face a 500 ringgit fine. And lastly, a stronger collaboration among local councils, environmental department, and enforcement agency will also help to improve accountability, transparency, and overall policy effectiveness. And the last point is to increase investment in waste management infrastructure. Increasing investment in waste management infrastructure is important to achieve Malaysia's plastic reduction goal. Without adequate facilities, strict policies and awareness campaign will have limited impact. Effective waste management relies on efficient collection, segregation, and recycling system. Malaysia currently faces issues such as limited recycling plants, outdated technology, and heavy dependence on landfill. A greater government funding and public-private partnership are needed to develop modern recycling and waste-to-energy facilities. For example, a large integrated recycling plant similar to Singapore Tuas Nexus integrated waste management facility could significantly improve recycling capacity and reduce landfill use. This investment will not only enhance recycling efficiency but also create green jobs and encourage innovation in sustainable materials.
In conclusions, the roadmap to zero single-use plastic shows Malaysia's strong commitment to solving plastic pollution through long-term and cooperative efforts. It promotes a shift towards sustainability and a circular economy, though challenges like low recycling rates and limited affordable options remain. The roadmap success depends on continued cooperations between the government, society, and private sector. Overall, it aims to build a cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable Malaysia.